This is the best of the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball and Mark.
Joe, you're on with Meatball, Kalamazoo.
Hi, this is Joe.
Hey, Joe Satriani, how are you, sir?
I'm very good today, and yourself?
I am fantastic, man. Just happy to have you on the line. Thank you for joining us on the Rocker Morning Show. You're going to be at the Kalamazoo State Theater October 14th. We're very happy to have you back in the city of Kalamazoo.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm just so pumped up for this tour. Really excited that we're going to be able to play so many places, finally.
Yeah, no joke. And we'll talk about the tour in a second. People know you obviously as a guitar virtuoso, 15-time Grammy nominee. You talk to any guitar guy out there, mention your name, it's immediately, your work with Chickenfoot or, Flying in a Blue Dream or Made of Tears or anything off your Extremist album. Like, you have been an inspiration for a lot of people to pick up the guitar and learn to play. When you hear those stories from people, like, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm, grateful that my fans have, gifted me this amazing career opportunity to write and record and perform all over the world. It's what I dreamed about when I was a young kid starting out. I thought, oh, this is what I want to do. This is my passion. But when you're young and you're starting out, you never know if it's going to happen or not. So, here I am, and just so grateful that I've been able to do this my whole life.
In addition to performing, you're also a guitar instructor, and you've had some crazy students in the past, man. Steve Vai, Kirk Hammett, Alex Skolnick. Like, were these guys already playing guitar when you taught them?
Well, it's a funny story, and it's varied. I was just a guitar player growing up on Long Island and playing at high schools and parties and things like that. And kids started to knock at my door asking for lessons. I had no plans to become a guitar instructor at all, but it was better than getting a real job, So, when Steve Vai came to my door, he actually played accordion, and so he had a pack of strings in one hand and a stringless guitar in the other. And he was a beginner, and so much fun to teach because he was so talented. Everything went super fast, and we became buddies, for life, from that experience growing up. We went to the same high school and hung out with a lot of the same friends and had the same music theory teacher in high school as well. So, it was really a great way to grow up, to have somebody that close to you share the same dream, of playing guitars for our lives,
Yeah, for sure.
When I moved out to Berkeley, California, again, I wasn't really looking to teach at all. I was just looking for bands to play with. But I was hanging out at a guitar store because I lived across the street, and the owner was very upset that I never bought anything. And so he talked me into teaching. As a way that he would get some of my money, I think that was his plan. And I kind of reluctantly said, well, okay, But what turned out to be so much fun, for the next 10 years while I was playing in local bands in the Bay Area, I'd get to teach for a few hours during the day at this guitar shop.
Yeah.
And what I saw was the beginning of what was going to change the world, which was thrash metal.
Yeah.
The as you mentioned, Kirk Hammet, Alex Skolnick, Larry Lalonde, and then players that were on the other sides of the spectrum, like David Bryson from Counting Crows, Kevin Cadigan, Third Eye Blind, Larry Lalonde from Primus.
Wow.
Just an amazing amount of really talented young kids, really like young kids, that were so driven and had their own ideas about what music should sound like, and it was fun and it was exciting. So, it turned out to be a really great thing. And the last lesson I gave was to Kirk Hammett in January of '88, and he wished me luck on my Surfing with the Alien tour. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Do you feel like you got more satisfaction out of, the lessons that you gave, or do you get more satisfaction being on stage and performing live?
Oh, there's nothing better than playing live. There's really nothing better. There's three things I really love, and I've really understood my cycle. The Joe Satriani cycle is privately writing, and then the second phase is bringing people in and making the stuff that you've written real getting it to be recorded in some way.
Yeah.
And then the third and phase of this cycle is bringing it on stage to people around the world. I can't really say one is better than the other because they're so exciting at every phase, and they all depend on each other. So those are the three things that I think make my world go round. And I've had experiences that just defy explanation, like being in a cricket field in India playing in front of 40,000 people. Wow. And hearing all of them sing the melody to Flying in a Blue Dream as I'm playing it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that just, bursts your heart. I mean, you just never forget that. It's just such a beautiful experience.
Well, let's talk about the Satriani live experience. You're going out on the Earth tour, finally getting rolling with this tour.
Yes.
After the pandemic, it kind of screwed things up for you, but you have since released 2 albums since your last tour, right? Shapeshifting, right, in 2020?
Yes.
And then Elephants of Mars that you released April of this year.
Yes, I know. It's definitely unprecedented for us. We've never, hit the beginning of a tour with 2 albums to debut live. But I'm staring at the set list right now. I've got this huge board in my studio, and I've been working on the set list for months, trying to figure out how do you play 2 new albums worth of material plus all the favorites that the fans want to hear you play. So it's a fantastic set list, and I'm so happy that I've got Kenny Aronoff on drums, Brian Beller on bass, and Ray Thistlethwaite playing keyboards and rhythm guitar. Just an amazing band.
We're really looking forward to it, obviously. Stoked to have you back in Kalamazoo State Theater, October 14th. Joe Satriani on with us on the Rocker Morning Show. And just if you could give a quick, kind of idea as to what people who have not seen you live before might get to experience it when they see you on stage.
Oh, wow. Well, we've always done a high-energy rock show. That's kind of like what we do. We we like to get people up on their feet if the venue is cooperating. Depends on if there are seats or no seats. But it's a high-energy show, and everyone gives it all they got. But yeah, I wrote a song called Crowd Chant, basically about the shows, about the audience participation in our shows. That a lot of people didn't in the old days, wouldn't really associate it with instrumental music, but I kind of turned that on its head when I put Crowd Chant on an album, because I thought, no, this will be the song where the fans can rehearse it at home, so when they come to the gig, they know exactly what their part is.
Now, did you write that in the book with it? Like, just make sure you rehearse this before you come to our shows.
I didn't have to. I knew it was going to happen because I'd spent years, improvising, playing a couple of notes and waiting for the audience to sing it back, and I thought, what's hard for them is that sometimes I play complicated things and they just need a little prep time. You know?
Right.
So I thought, well, I should put it on an album. That way they know exactly what to sing. So it's really a great moment every night when we play that song because we really bond. I mean, it's really a song that brings the audience and the band together.
Well, we're really looking forward to it, man. Again, State Theater in Kalamazoo, October 14th. Joe Satriani, you're going to be in town. Cannot wait to have you here. Do me a favor, when you get to Salina, Kansas later on in this tour at the Stiefel Theater, those are my old stomping grounds there in Kansas. So take a minute to really soak in that theater because it is a beautiful, beautiful place. And make sure you tell them Meatball says hi.
All right.
So, all right.
That's great. I can't wait to say that. Meatball says hi. That's great.
Joe, we appreciate your time today, man. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you next month.
Thank you. Have a good day.
See you, Joe.
Live weekday mornings from 6 to 10 and on demand in the Rocker app. It's the best of the Rocker Morning Show on 107.7 RKR.